Divergent thinking is a thought process used to generate creative ideas by exploring many possible solutions. It typically occurs in a spontaneous, free-flowing, non-linear manner, such that many ideas are generated in an emergent cognitive fashion. Many possible solutions are explored in a short amount of time, and unexpected connections are drawn. Welcome to Minds in Formation.
Oh, no way. What up, gang? I missed you. I know y'all missed me. I have literally just been inundated with people saying, Matt, where's the podcast? We miss you. We need to hear your voice. I can't sleep. Well, actually, nobody said that, but maybe one or two people thought it for sure. For sure, one or two people thought it. But it's been busy, dog. It's been busy. We had a little break. We had shit going on. We had life going on. We got life going on right now. We're drinking an old fashioned in some old school hotel in Tampa. I mean, it ain't bad, but this place needs a fucking update, bro. It's like primo property, nice location, but built in the 70s, and it's been the same ever since then. So maybe do a renovation, but that's all right. That's all right. We're not going to complain too much. You know, traveling for work, it's all good. Everything's free, so bug it. And Tampa's cool. I like it. Florida in general. I don't know if I'd want to live here, though. I heard the insurance situation is out of control. Obviously, you're getting smacked by hurricanes every fall. I mean, that part doesn't sound that good, you know? Over in Colorado, I always tell people you don't really got natural disasters. You get fires occasionally, but it's really only an issue if you live in an area that's dangerous for such a thing. AKA your house is just in the middle of the trees or the brush is all grown up or whatever. But if you got like a normal ass house in town, like you really ain't got too much to worry about thus far. But, you know, there's always that possibility. People talk about that Yellowstone popping off. Boy, that would not be good. But I think if that happens, the projections I've seen, that's like a civilization ender, right? It's one of those things where it blows. Anybody within 1,000-mile radius is smoked immediately. And then everything that gets blasted into the atmosphere basically descends the globe into another ice age. So we ain't really worried about insurance and anything else at that point. You're just trying to stay alive. Go to your bunker. I don't think I would ever want to live in a bunker though, bro. Like preppers, like I get it. I get prepping to a certain degree. At least having a go bag, having the ability to filter water, or having a stockpile of fresh water, having food and things of that nature. You always got to have some bullets, some ammunition. But that's really just to give you kind of like a fighting chance if shit's getting kind of wild. I mean, if it really goes, like, I'm just like, take me with you, dog. I don't really want to be lifting up rocks looking for bugs to eat or constantly trying to defend my family against marauders. Doesn't sound great. However, I do think every man has at least just a little bit of an apocalypse fantasy. Like, how would I do in that situation? Could I hold up? What would happen to my character? Would I still be a good guy? Or would you just turn into a bad guy? Because you have to. That's the interesting part about those apocalypse shows. Or, I mean, even like The Walking Dead hit it, even though that show just kept going in cycles and I ended up hating it after a few seasons. But the initial part, pretty good, first couple seasons. And it just goes to show you that, like, it's not really about the disaster or what's going on. It's about all the motherfuckers that are left behind that you got to defend yourself against. They're worse than any zombie or virus or explosion or anything else that might have happened. The survivors, that's what's going to get you. Oh, old fashioned. But yeah, so we've been away for a little while, man. We haven't done a show for a little bit. Life was lifing. I got married recently. Woo! woo, congratulations, yay, woo. But that was dope. Once upon a time, I swore I would never get married again. Because for those that don't know, I was married once upon a time before when I was young. I mean, young-ish, right? I was like 22, 23, somewhere in that ballpark. And it wasn't really like a planned out wedding. It was like you just got a bitch pregnant and you're like, fuck, I guess this is what we're supposed to do. I guess this is what it means to be a man, to be a good man, try to handle your responsibilities, which I don't feel bad about that. Try to do the right thing. Even if it was maybe a little misguided, looking back later in life after you gain a little bit of wisdom, you're like, yeah, we probably could have just co-parented and kept it moving. I don't know if it was really necessary to like get married right on the spot and go for it, especially because I always knew it was probably not a good situation, which it wasn't. But, when you're a young dummy, you're a young dummy, dude, and you do young dummy shit. Young dummy, young cummy. But it is what it is, man. But that situation definitely left me a little bit jaded. And then even after that, you go out there, you get back into the dating field. At this time, I'm like 30 or something, 31. And I'm like, fuck, dude. I mean, yeah, you can have some fun. You can have a good time. And it's never been difficult for me to like meet up with women or whatever. But it quickly makes you realize like all the woes you hear from your single friends. Your single friends are like, I can't find a good woman. I can't find a good man. It's a shit show. Everyone's full of baggage. Everyone's full of issues. And it's true, bro. It is out of control. I mean, fuck, dude. I just remember at certain times just feeling like I was dating one train wreck after the next. And it's like, yikes, bro. Like, where is all the normal, cool people? Where are they? They can't be that hard to find. I don't understand how everyone is so damaged, full of trauma and baggage and just whatever. But you're like, life happens, dude. You got to figure it out. You got to roll with the punches, man. You can't just be like talking about your childhood or your past for the rest of your life. Like, it doesn't do you any good after a certain point of time, which is also a reason I think therapy is kind of bullshit. I think therapy is probably good from time to time, especially when you're going through something, you're in the thick of it. And I'm not trying to hate on people that got a therapist or whatever, like to each their own. This is just my humble opinion, which is everything I say, my humble opinion. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I don't think sitting there day after day telling someone about all your problems and how your dad was mean to you or whatever. Again, there are cases where people have gone through horrendous shit, and I'm like, if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. No harm, no foul, no judgment there, right? But if you're just a little sad, you just had a normal life that has some struggles, and you want to go and talk to your therapist every week or every other week and just continually bring that shit back to the surface and dwell on it and talk about your family experiences again and your trauma and all the shit that happened to you. I mean, it is what it is, bro. Like, you just gotta fucking move on, dude. And I think when you're just talking about it all the time and you're talking about how sad you are and how fucked up you are and you got all these issues, nobody likes me, it doesn't do any good. And I know I probably sound like a dick. And I'm okay with that because at a certain point in time, you got to grow the fuck up. Life's gonna life. You're gonna get kicked in the nuts sometimes, or kicked in the vag, or whatever. You're gonna get kicked, and that's just how it goes. At the end of the day, if you live in the West, aka anywhere in North America or Western Europe, you are living in the golden age of human society as far as we understand it. You can look back to different times and say, oh, this society had it better, or this society did things in a much cooler way. And you might be right? I even think about sometimes, like being a hunter-gatherer, living in a fucking tribe where you're just out there like as a no shit cohesive unit helping each other survive. That could be a higher form of being a human. as opposed to today where it's so easy to just be a sack of shit, stare at your phone and doom scroll all day and stare at your computer. You know, it's like one of those memes. I wake up and I look at the little screen, and then I go to work and I look at the medium screen, and then I come home and I look at the big screen while I'm looking at the little screen. So like that doesn't seem like a good way to live life either. But you have a choice there. And that's the whole thing. That's what I'm saying about the West is you got a lot of choices. You got a lot of options. You can be free for the most part. So if your life sucks, kind of your fault to a certain degree. Again, I'm generalizing a whole shitload here, but it is what you make it, as cliche as that sounds. And if you're a sad panda and you think life sucks and you live in the West, I don't know how to help you. You need some perspective. You need to go travel the world and maybe go to some spots that don't have it so easy and understand that you were given a silver spoon, right? Even if you don't have a ton of money or you don't have this or that, you are crushing it. From a human history timeline and even what's going on today in the world in different regions of the world, and you live in fucking New York and you're going to your therapist every week and talking about how you're fucking sad and life's hard, give me a fucking break, dude. Go live in Somalia or something. Go live in, I don't know, anywhere third world. But I don't know, maybe it would make you happier. That's kind of what I'm saying is like modern society has its traps for sure. And we need a certain amount of struggle. So in absence of real struggle, people just seem to like make up their own fucking struggles. Which is unfortunate because, again, I try to lean into the fact that life's good. It's great. We could be defending ourselves against, fucking savages or wolves or bears or whatever. But we're not. We're like kind of chilling for the most part. People are still all fucked up. But anyways, relationships. So they are tough. They are tough to find. And once upon a time, I was in a jaded time of my life. And I said, no way, I'm never doing that again. I'm never going to get married again. I'm just going to be a free agent and I'm going to raise my kids until they can move out. And then I'm going to travel the world in a fucking camper or something, Be like, I'm over it. I'm not participating in this shit anymore. But then you meet somebody really special and it kind of changes everything. And then you realize when you hear people talk about the importance of partner selection, it all kind of starts fitting. The puzzle pieces come together and you're like, oh, that's what they meant. A lot of people are jaded in their relationships and their family setups because they're with people that they don't even actually like that much, which it sucks. That sucks real bad. But you got to be real careful with that process. Be very intentional. And I got lucky, but I was intentional, I got divorced in 2018, spring of 2018, even though I was separated like 2 years before that. But bullshit in North Carolina, like you have to be physically separated for at least a year before you can file and fucking get out of here, bro. Stop telling me how to live my life. But it's a thing. So if we say I'm single since 2016, that means it took 10 years. It took 10 years, dude. And as my now wife would say, sometimes that's just how it goes. Like you got to kiss some toads to find your prince. And that's a real thing. But I got lucky. I got really lucky by finding her. Because again, prior to that, a lot of my dating was like, ugh, train wreck, full of baggage. You're a disaster. And now for someone that's hot, you'll look the other way for a little while, but it doesn't last that long, I mean, fat ass and some nice boobies can make up for a lot, but it can't make up for everything. Your fucking insanity is going to start shining through at a certain amount of time. And that's where I'll draw the line, at your insanity. But I found a good one. Found a good one. So not only did I get married again, I'm going to try to have more children. Even though I got a 16 and 17-year-old and people are like, you're fucking crazy. You're almost free. I'm like, free? That's a funny word to use. And I think maybe this ties into why people have so many issues with relationships and issues with family and just issues in general is sometimes, and this is just a thing that's become worse and worse in our society. There is a reversal, but for a lot of my life, at least my adult life, family and children and stuff were almost looked at as like a little bit of a prison sentence. Be like, oh, you're married. Oh, geez, fucking good luck with that. Or, oh, you have kids. Like, when will they move out? Then you can finally have your life back. It's this very strange look on the family unit in general. People were really poo-pooey about it for the longest time. But again, I think that is potentially reversing. And I've had a lot of conversations about it. And, my wife's talked about it too. And she remembers being in that frame of mind where it was one of the negative or slightly nefarious aspects of feminism. It's like, oh yeah, go be a fucking boss bitch. Don't ever listen to a dude, like you got to go do you, make that fucking cheddar, baby, and make the guys work for you, which is fine if you can do that, I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's totally fine. But again, there was this idea that like families were bad, like being a wife and raising children and be like, oh, you're oppressed. You're oppressed. What, you just like serve your husband? That's horrible. You need to go be an independent woman. But turns out now it's like flipping around, and there's a lot of women that want a little bit more of a traditional setup, especially if they can find a good dude. They can find a good dude that will take care of them and respect them and treat them well and build a family with them so that they can stay home and they can raise the children, raise the family, and put their influence onto their children, not some underpaid person at a daycare or something like that who's doing who knows what while you're not around. Not to saying they're like all evil or whatever, but it's just like, that person doesn't care about your kid that much. They might love their job and love children, but it's not their child. They will not put their all into it. But your wife and the mother of your children will 99.9% of the time put their all into building their family. So it's kind of funny how now that is looked at more positively. At least it seems that way to me. Now there's like a lot more women that I run into, just friends or whatever, and they're like, oh, if I could meet a good guy and he had his shit in order and I could be a stay-at-home wife and mother, I would love that. I would love that so much. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's a pretty good model. Not to say that that's what everyone has to do. You can do whatever the hell you want. It's a free country. But it's not bad. It's not bad if you can pull it off. And I know shit's expensive and all that, but if you can figure it out, it's a pretty good model. Not to mention daycare and stuff like that is prohibitively expensive. So if you guys are not a power couple just crushing it, then it's like logistically, it almost doesn't make sense. Like somebody should stay home. And maybe I am a little old school in the fact that I think probably better that it's the mom. They're built for it. And maybe some like feminist ladies or whatever would be like, can't believe you just said that. Can't believe you just said that. But it's nature, dude. We want to just pretend that nature's not real. Nothing is fucking real. It's all a construct. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Talk to any psychologist that's not some like woke moron. I'm like, women are more caring and nurturing and gentle and soft. And that's just what they bring to the family dynamic, and it traces back to, again, the old school days. I need you to stay here and keep the children alive. I have to go kill an animal or maybe kill a person, I'll be back. I will try to keep that from you. And, we each have our lanes to a certain degree. It's just how we lived for forever, basically. Until, we got into this modern Western society, which is great. Again, it's the golden era. I mean, if you can't figure it out here, you can't figure it out anywhere. But we got here and we just overthought everything. Like all of the old ways are bad. Turns out, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe some of the old ways are just the normal ways. But to each their own. Again, I'm not telling anybody how to do anything. That's just a little bit of my hot take on the topic. But again, been away from the podcast, got married, had a great time, took a bunch of homies out to Vegas, crushed it, bro. Absolutely crushed it. It was supposed to be just a little kind of throw together wedding, not quite an elopement, but maybe just a step above an elopement. And we're like, oh, let's just invite a couple of friends. And then it blew up. It blew up, bro. Turns out we have people that love us. Oh, God. We have people that like us. We're maybe even a little popular. Maybe. And word spread, and then everybody wants to come out there. So we're like, fuck it, dude. We got to open it up a little bit. We've got a lot of cool people in our life. And we shouldn't squander this opportunity. So Vegas, baby. Awesome. Did it at the Neon Museum. It's a cool little joint where they have all this old retro Vegas neon signs and memorabilia or whatever. It was dope. Hot as fuck though. In the middle of March, it's supposed to be 75 degrees in Vegas, but there's a heat wave. So add 20 to that. So I'm in my fucking monkey suit. My wife's in her dress and everybody's dressed up and we're getting nuked alive, which was rough. But luckily we were hey, whether the weather was like this or not, the ceremony, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. If you do a wedding and you have a long ass drawn out ceremony, you're a piece of shit. Everybody just wants to fucking get that over with and get to having a good time. That's what every single person wants. Nobody wants to hear your bullshit get drawn out forever. Doesn't mean you can't, hey, want to make a toast? Ding, 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 or whatever. Do your first dance or, daddy's last dance, whatever it's called. That's fine. That's totally cool. But the ceremony, get it over with. Get it over with. We can't really hear you that well. We're just sitting there. And we're trying to get hors d'oeuvres and champagne. Wrap it up. So that was totally the vibe. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And then we're hitting the town, dog. We go to lunch, and then we're crushing it on the strip. My homie knows a promoter down there, so we got in some cool club, big old gang of us. I'm not really a club guy, but when in Rome, right? Why not? Take it for a little spin. But it was dope. And then after we get back from the wedding, a week or two later, the whole household gets the flu. Everyone's fucked. Well, not the whole household. My youngest son, who is usually patient zero, he gets everyone sick every 2 or 3 months, pisses me off so bad. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Take some vitamins or wear a mask or some shit. I don't care, dude. You're bringing germs up in this bitch all the time. But it wasn't him this time. It was me this time. The flu went around work and devastated, bro. Devastated for 5 days. It was horrible. But again, my youngest son was just you guys are all sick. Not me. Dodged that bullet. I was like, you bastard. You're going to pay. So yeah, all that's going on. We had the wedding and we all get the flu. And then I swapped jobs. Got a new job. It's good. I still work at the same place, but I just got, different contract or whatever. But a little promotion, a little bump in pay. That's always nice. But whole point being, we haven't been podcasting in a bit because life's been lifing. But we're back now. We should be getting back to cranking out some shows, having a good time, leveling up, dude. back to business, dog. I say that even though summer's coming, and summers for me are so busy, so busy. I make the most of all of my time to the best of my ability, but summers in Colorado, primo, dude. Primo, primo. We're going camping. We're going backpacking. We're going rafting. We're traveling around. We're going to visit people doing this. We're having people come visit us. We're going to concerts at Red Rocks, bro. We're crushing it. I mean, we always kind of crush it, but we crush it even more in the summer. So I will do my best to stay on schedule. But I'm a busy guy. And you never know what the world's going to throw at you, dude. I mean, look. What the fuck is going on in Iran anyways? I try not to get into like politics and stuff too much just because I think it's a cesspool and it really doesn't matter. You're left or right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Whoever they are in charge, and politics is a big old distraction. It's a big old game. It doesn't even really matter. So I don't really worry about it. I feel like it's fucking pointless. Our systems are like captured, and I don't even know. I don't know. It's just like there's some things that are blatantly wrong, and you're just like, how? Like, did you guys see that shit? So this kid, Nick Shirley, right? He's like out there exposing fraud and all this crap. And then he goes to California, and they're like, California's fucked, dude. It's gonna be bad there. And I read something that, like, instead of being like, wow, yeah, Nick Shirley, you're really doing some good work, like essentially trying to pass some law to prevent this type of journalism because it's like stressing people out. Oh, you can't be running up on people with a camera and asking them questions. It's like this guy is like exposing all the bullshit that you're too incompetent or too corrupt to expose yourself, instead of being like, thanks, dog. Let's look into it and let's save some taxpayer money. Let's clean out the fucking crud. Be like, nah, we need to prevent this from ever happening again so the gravy train can keep on rolling. It's fucked, dude. So that's why I don't even get into it. I'm like, it's pointless. It's pointless. And unfortunately, it makes you feel like you as just Joe Blow, Matt, like, what am I going to do about it? Nothing. What, like run for office? What a nightmare, dude. I mean, I honestly would think about it if I thought I could really go make some positive change, make some positive impact. But I just think that the system's kind of too far gone at this point. And I'm not trying to sound like a doomsdayer, like everything's fucked. Like, it's still pretty dope in America, obviously. But that part of it is like, shit, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. You're printing money, your debt is out of control. Like, doesn't that come crashing down at some point? And what's that going to look like? What's that going to look like when that whole thing fucking crashes? I don't know, but it seems like it probably wouldn't be good. I'm great with like personal finance, balancing my own budget, like I'm paying bills or whatever. But how that works on a national scale, oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that even means. What the fuck is $1 trillion anyway? And we're like pushing $40 trillion in debt. That's how you know money's not real. Like, what does that even mean? You're $40 trillion in debt. To who? To what? Who's coming to collect? What happens if you don't pay? What does that even mean? And of course, somebody way smarter than me could explain all that. Or you could just grok it, dude. Or you get on ChatGPT, get on your AI of choice and be like, break it down for me, dog. What's going on with the national debt? What's going to happen when the fucking ceiling falls out? But yeah, man. What a mess. What a mess. But I always say the same thing. Try not to worry about it. Worry about being a good neighbor, being a good dad, being a good friend, good husband. I mean, that's good. That's really great if you can do good at those things. And it spreads. That sort of sort of vibe spreads. You just try to be a good dude. So I don't think you'll ever regret that. Just be a good guy. Even when shit sucks and shit's hard. Try to be a good guy. Be a good support mechanism. Be a pillar in your community if you can. You'll never regret that. Never, never, never. But yeah, man. Tampa, dog. Chilling in Tampa. Hoping I get some time to go hit the beach. Maybe go chill with the homie or something. Got a couple old buddies over here. It's always good to catch up with the old friends when you can. I love that. Friends is my favorite shit, dog. But ultimately, honestly, people are the only thing I really care about. Anything else, doesn't really matter. As long as I got a homie or two, my family, I'm good. We good to go, dog. But yes, ladies and germs, more shows coming out soon. So don't worry. I know you've been waiting. You've been waiting, possibly weeping, possibly considering ending it all. But now you don't have to do that. Because I'm back. Daddy's home. And we're going to talk more soon. Love you. Bye.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the show out. See you next time.